Okay, so James O'Keefe was fired from Project Veritas. They claim that he misappropriated funds to the tune of $12,000. Did he fix his car, buy a boat, or throw a party, or pay a DJ? Did he order too many Uber Blacks? There was these are the accusations they made of him. He responded, and he's out. So even though he started Project Veritas, at some point they went to having a board, right? And the board has power, I guess, to boot him. Project Veritas, the outfit that has done hidden camera videos that have outed a lot of leftist people. Most recently, they had their Pfizer video. The vast majority of people on the right are totally supporting James O'Keefe. People are unsubscribing from Project Veritas, and they're just going to follow James O'Keefe to his new project or whatever he does, which I would assume he's going to do something similar. Honestly, I'm not angry. I'm not up in arms. I'm just really scratching my head. I'm very, very puzzled by what's going on. I just do not understand what is the end game here? What was the goal? Now, there's some people who think that Pfizer infiltrated Project Veritas and to get revenge on James O'Keefe and to boot him out and to destroy Project Veritas, and they spent money, and I don't know that I agree with that because of what is the
Well,
I
I
mean
think
the story has been made.
O'Keefe himself is almost implying that.
He was also almost implying that too, and I don't know how much I agree with that because the story is out there. So that doesn't delete that story. Furthermore, James O'Keefe will just set up shop elsewhere. It's not as if he can't get them again, right? So, however much money they spent on destroying Project Veritas, it seems like a waste of money. Now, keep in mind, irrational people could be running Pfizer and they could just be doing this out of spite. Possible, I guess. I don't think corporations generally operate out of spite, but who knows? It's possible. So I don't necessarily believe that Pfizer is behind it. Now, so if Pfizer's not behind it, then you have to think that you have to say, okay, James O'Keefe really had a legitimate disagreement with other people on the board of Project Veritas about how the company was run, the direction of it. There were discussions about, the board was more focused on fundraising and
Doesn't make sense though.
and O'Keefe was more focused on spending whatever money he has to, do the good work that he needs to do, all that good stuff, right? So yeah, I could see philosophically when it comes to money, which by the way, that's been a big divider of a lot of people in history when they have disagreements about how money should be spent. I could see there being a disagreement there.
Sure, me too. But then the timing doesn't really make sense.
Sure, maybe the timing doesn't make sense, but the thing that makes even less sense to me is what outcome did the anti-O'Keefe people expect here? Did you not know that this was just destroy the company? Did you think that you could boot him out or, minimize his power and then just everything would continue as normal and Project Veritas would still be the number one? Did
I
you
mean,
not realize
yeah,
that this would just be the end of Project Veritas? And over what? Over what? He spent $12,000 here, $200,000. Who even cares? That's small potatoes.
well, I think it turns out that O'Keefe was indeed critical to Project Veritas, but I think as outsiders, that fact wouldn't have been, I mean, obvious to us
As
until,
outside, wait, I'm an outsider, and it was
I
obvious
know.
to me.
Okay, it wasn't obvious to me. I mean, I recognize him as the figurehead,
Oh,
but I don't know just from that,
oh, so okay.
I can't say that, he is Project Veritas. I mean, to me, it's that fact is really obvious right now. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I maybe they just miscalculated, but it seems like a very
I mean, obviously they should know. They're insiders though,
it
right?
seems
They
like a
should
colossal miscalculation because almost nobody is on their side, and everybody's leaving to go consume James O'Keefe's next project. Did they not know that this would happen? I just don't understand. I guess maybe when you're in it, you have a myopia and you think he's not this whole company. We do good work, and they just don't see it the way people from the outside see it. People from the outside see him as the company. Now, if they had fired him for cause, like he did something really bad, not spend $12,000 on a DJ or a party, okay, like sexually assaulted somebody, then I could see, okay, people would dump him and then Project Veritas could continue. But they weren't able to produce something like that. So why would they think they could win this PR battle? That's what's puzzling to me. And that almost leads me to believe that it was somebody who just wanted to sink the whole thing, like a Pfizer, right? It's like they don't care. They just wanted the whole thing to end. But that also seems short-sighted too, because obviously James O'Keefe is just going to make another thing. I don't get it.
That's true, but I could see that. I could see that being a blind spot, though.
They think that they can
Where they're
soldier
just
on
like,
without him.
no, 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 no. Where you're just like, no, I just want revenge, and
Oh,
then not thinking past that.
I guess it's possible. Human beings are human beings. I give corporations a lot of credit because usually, when you have enough people in a room, the wisdom of the crowd will come out with a generally rational choice. But maybe there's one person at Pfizer who just said, no, I hate this guy. He's been a thorn in our side. Let's just destroy his company. Right? That's possible, I suppose.
Yeah, it doesn't fully add up either.
Listen, I know people who've expensed tens of thousands of dollars on their company card in Vegas, okay? Under the really flimsy guise of, well, it's kind of for business. Oh my God, it's not really for business, but this
Can
is
you
just
say what
sort of.
company this person is working at?
I think he was working at
Big
Hewlett
Tech?
Packard.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, this is another reason people to sell out your 401ks and buy individual stocks.
yeah, maybe. But the point is, I know it sounds, maybe to like the layperson sounds like, oh yeah, $10,000 here, $20,000 there. It sounds like a big deal. And like but in context, these accounts, you spend money on certain things. Unless he was putting it like directly into his bank account, okay? Then no, I don't think it's that big of a deal. As long as it could, loosely be argued that he was doing it to further the interests of Project Veritas, okay?
From everything that came out, it sounds like he's a man of integrity.
Yeah, I didn't see theft or anything. I just saw people trying to, nitpick about his spending habits. Like, oh, you're taking Uber Black instead of what? Regular Uber? Who cares? So what? He took the more expensive one. So,
I do want to say though that even though I think James O'Keefe seems to be a man of integrity, they definitely sensationalize their stuff to try to get people to watch it, maybe, or I don't know. But
I would say they do. Yeah.
and they clearly, they're leading on the victims in the videos usually. So
Yeah, they do sort of ask leading questions. I have no problem with that because at the end of the day, the person doesn't have to say what they said. Just because a topic is introduced by a person doesn't mean you have to say the thing that you ended up saying.
yeah, but it's the whole like, hidden camera thing where the person that knows about the hidden camera, they have the power.
They do.
They can act in a way that they think is appropriate.
They do, but again, you don't have to say things like the vaccine is messing with people's menstruation, right? You don't have to say that unless it was true or you believed it. So if you did say it, then I can still conclude that you thought it was true or it is true. Those are facts. I know that somebody led you there, but they led you to the truth. I will say this though, they sometimes don't release the full raw footage, which I think is a mistake. Even if the full raw footage is boring, or even if it doxes the person, you could just redact some things, right? So they should always release the full raw footage. Now, I don't know, like, do they generally do that? Because we of course watch clips, right?
Yeah, I've only seen clips.
At least it would insulate them against these accusations people always make is like, well, it's clipped and taken out of context. Well, then just release the full so people can't claim that anymore.